And now, our feature presentation.
Have you seen the group chat? They're doing it again tonight.
No.
Please. It's my mom's Remembrance Day. I just want to forget about it.
Who's up?
I'll do it.
Cannot go for more than 90 seconds. Am I clear?
What happens after 90 seconds?
Don't want to stay. Light the candle to open the door. Blow it out to close it. Put your hand on it. Now say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
What did the hand feel like?
It felt amazing. I could see and feel everything on the other side. So my mom, she was trying to reach out. I'm here. Still been saying stuff.
You've been saying stuff.
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it? Oh my god, they followed us. I like it. They're not gonna stop. They're never gonna stop. They like you. Talk to me.
All right, start over again.
What's up, people? This is In Search Of, where we're trying to find a good movie, whether it doesn't matter the genre. And today we're going to talk about horror. We're going to talk about the new movie called Talk to Me, and it looks weird with that little hand, and you'll see the trailer before the thing. So this is my co-host, Marissa, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the movie and what we liked and didn't like and all that about it. So, yeah. So anyway, do you want to give a quick summary or?
Sure. Since it's fresh in my mind because I just watched it. So essentially, a group of Australian teenagers have a hand, and they play a party game. I guess instead of Ouija boards, they play this party game with this hand where you hold the hand, you light a candle, you hold the hand, and you say, "Talk to me," and a ghost appears. And then you welcome them in. And then the ghost takes over your body, and they record it, and you do crazy, weird things at first. You know, people do all kinds of embarrassing things because the ghost takes over your body and performs different, you know, silly, sometimes gross, sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
whatever things. And at one point, they used it so much that the main character's mother appears and enters into one of her friends, a young boy, and then proceeds to try to kill himself by smashing his face into every surface in a room. It was very
Brutal.
Yeah, I would say brutal. I think, and I'll get to it. And then the whole point of the movie is them trying to get rid of the being or something. I would have to say that the only, I think, scary-ish parts were like when the ghost showed up in front of the person and you were like, but you were more like ill, or like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like creepy, scary. It was just like kind of like that, you know. So if something pops into your view all of a sudden, it gives you that like momentary shock.
Yeah.
The second thought I had was, who the fuck? Like, Ouija board is one thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, flicker the lights and like, you know, do stupid stuff, ask it questions. But you're inviting a literal spirit into your body. And they made it seem like it was like a euphoric feeling after they were done.
Yeah.
So part of me thinks that was like a con from the ghost. Like, keep doing it. We'll make you feel good, but we're going to use your body to do whatever we want, essentially. Like, we're weakening your defenses by making you feel, because it was almost like they were getting high, like after they got out of it. You know what I mean? So then the brutality of when the kid started bashing his face. First of all, he's young.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like he's, what, 13, 14 years old, maybe, if that. And just, I think what amazed me was the lack of response from everybody.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it took until he started to try to rip out his own eyeball for them to go, oh my God, stop him. Like, he's smashing his fucking head in. Like, you know it's not him doing it. You know it's the thing, because they all tried it. They all saw the ghosts. They all experienced the same thing. So it's not like they think that the kid is perpetrating something, you know, or faking it. So I just thought they're letting him go on for way too long. The only thing that they did show very well is the main girl. If you notice in the beginning, when I think it was at her mom's funeral or whatever it was, and she kind of tunes out, she like disassociates.
Yeah.
So basically, like some people who go through trauma or something like that, instead of like some people respond differently, right? But some people will disassociate, which means like they're not home. Like there's nothing going on in here. They're just fucking staring off into space. And then they did a really good job of showing that for her. You know what I mean? Like, she's just gone. Like, she's not there anymore. Her mind just leaves. So when she's like, at first I was like, damn, this bitch is cold. Like, she just doesn't, like, she's sitting there washing her hands. Like, but then like, I'm going, oh no, she's gone. Like, she's completely like out of her fucking mind. And then I'm not sure if the ghost that appeared was her mom.
Well,
or if it was a demon, like,
well, her
mom.
In religion, you go to hell if you kill yourself. So it
could
have been her mom or something like that. But that was in spoilers ahead, whatever. But that was kind of like part of the twist, is because that like Marissa said, they're trying to get this like thing out of the boy for the rest of the movie, and they're
the one part I forgot to make was the reason why it's still in the boy is part of the ritual is you need to blow the candle out to close the door, as they call it, and because of all the chaos, no one blew out the candle.
So now the demon's in the boy. He's all jacked up. He goes to the hospital. The main character, the black girl, she's basically like shunned from everyone because the friend left the room, like not wanting her brother to do that, and then like she let the brother do it, whatever. So she sees her mother, the main character's mother, killed herself, and she doesn't know why. And then she sees her mother every once in a while, and the mother's telling her you got to kill the boy, basically, to stop it, and then it goes on to the end of the movie. But that's one of the things that gets to me too, and I think this is why I don't like how they portray movies now. It's just, hold on a second. It's just it's not just the lack of like action or taking action when something's happening. It's like you're literally like nobody's in a horror movie acts like in that universe there's never been a horror movie or anything bad happened. So it's just like, all right, I don't believe it. I grab the hand, say talk to me, and I see a fucking ghost. Jet, like, why is it no? Everyone's just like the initial shock, and then okay, talk to me, and then
Yeah.
ooh, and doing all the stuff like it's fun.
And they're not fun looking ghosts. They're
Yeah,
fucking
they're not
gross
like
and
you're like,
creepy.
hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking like they look like they died and in
horrible
weird
ways. Yeah.
So it's just like that. Well, when it doesn't make sense, because I know it's a suspension of disbelief, but when it doesn't make sense like that, like really, you're just gonna sit there and let this literal monster in front of you come inside of
your body.
Yeah.
Like it would be one thing if like they like talked to them and like had conversation, almost like a medium could like, you know, conversate, and they'd be like, oh, this guy said that, you know. And if it was like a story, you know what I mean? Like if the ghost came and told the story of their life or their death or whatever, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's so fucking cool. And then they go to the place where the person died. Like that would make more sense. But the fact that they let these beings inside their body to do all kinds of horrendous shit. And it's just like, and like even with like the one kid who was like making out with the dog.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, I'm next. I want to see what it's going to make me do. Like,
exactly. Like,
are you like, what? Like, it just, I don't know. I just do better. I don't want to, and none of it was scary. None of it was spooky.
But I'll give you this though. The people who made it are YouTubers. They're not studio based. They're two young YouTubers that made a movie. And then there's another YouTuber that does movie reviews that's making his own horror movie. And I think there's a third one. But these guys are YouTubers. So I was just like, I give them slack for that because it's their first movie.
Yeah.
Something I wish I could fucking do.
Yeah.
But
Evil Dead was their first movie and they were college students and now it's a fucking cult classic. So,
yeah, but you could, if I was a horror fan back then, even though when I was a kid and everyone wanted to see that movie and it was kind of horrific when I was a kid, but really watching it now is like, it's a corny ass movie.
It is.
But it's funny in a way, but it's like, it wasn't a movie. To me, it doesn't seem like a movie that was trying to be serious.
Oh, right.
And then ended up being like a comedy, like a cult classic comedy horror. Where it was just like now, it's like, no, if that was one thing, then okay. But you're trying to make a legit horror movie, then why, like, and it is like you said, I think what would make that movie a little bit better, not a lot, but a little bit better, is not just the conversation, but what if you grab the hand and you see them and they just end up in you. You like, there's no second step to let me in.
Yeah.
Just like whoop, like, oh shit.
Or even, what if it transported you to the day they died and you experienced their death? To me, that would be more scary. That would be like think about it. Like, so the being or whatever pops into you, right? As soon as you say, talk to me, and it brings you to the day of their death. And whether
when it's happening, like, so like if one person was like got killed by a serial killer and they're tied up, you're like, why were they? See, that would have been 10 times better, because that would have. See, I think that's why I like that movie a little bit. Sinister.
Yeah.
When they showed the videotapes of how these people died, and it was very grainy, black and white. Like, if they did something like that, where it was just like you said, take me to the day of my death, but they're not talking to the ghost to do it. Like, it just happens.
Yeah, because think about it. Because then I could understand it being a party game, because it won't feel like, it wouldn't feel like they were in you. It's like they took you on a journey, right?
Yeah.
And then it would be like, oh, I want to go on the journey. And it would make other people want to go on the journey. Because it could be something as silly as like somebody had a mishap, you know, was drunk and stepped off of a curb and got smashed by a car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it could be something quick like, It
could be something quick like that, or it could be serial killer, or it could be I jumped off of the roof of the Empire State Building and you're experiencing the fall down, you know, which could be exhilarating, but you're still alive. So you go through the highs and lows. You understand what I'm saying? That would have been more exciting, more scary, more creepy, because they could have done a whole lot with gore. It could have been a gore fest.
Not just gore, you could have bring in anything, the creepiness of it, like being stuck and trapped, like buried alive.
And then what would have been really interesting was if they would have done like the mother's suicide, if he would have experienced the mother's suicide, but then the mother's suicide wasn't really her suicide. A demon got in her and made her kill herself, and that's why the demon was making the boy kill himself. That would have made more sense.
Damn,
that would have been so much more interesting.
We were popular, so tell them and like, yo, give us a gift to make a goddamn movie already.
See, to me, a horror movie doesn't have to just have your jump scares and your creepy looking monsters and it has to be an interesting plot line and has to be somewhat believable. It doesn't have to be 100% believable, because otherwise you can't have horror movies. But there has to be some semblance of, I feel like that could be me, or I feel like somebody I know would do that shit.
Exactly. But that also makes me think, am I so old and out of tune that young kids act like that now? Because I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's a generation where they're like, that's so cool. It goes up.
And and what's crazy is they Snapchat the whole shit. So that means that people are watching their Snapchats of them doing this shit all night. So everybody knows that boy fucking smashed his face in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just fucking crazy to me. But that's how the world is. Like, people will take out their cameras before they go to help people. Like, I was just watching.
The other thing, too, they never explained where the fucking hand came from. They never said,
they vaguely said, oh, I heard that it came from a psychic that got their hand chopped off, and then they cast it in porcelain. Oh no, I heard it was a demon, a devil worshiper. It's kind of like one of those, kind of like nobody knows where the monkey bone came from.
Okay. You know what would have been cooler too? A cooler effect is when you grab the hand, it grabs you back.
They missed a whole opportunity with that. They missed a whole opportunity with that, because then it becomes more of a mystical thing, you know, because
think about that too.
Porcelain. It wasn't like an actual fleshy hand. It was a porcelain that supposedly had a hand inside of it. Do you understand what I mean?
And think about this too, what they could have possibly done. Now, since that hand moves and it possesses you of some sort, now that hand could be the thing that chases you down to like grab you in your sleep, or like, you know, like, because it always wants to possess you. So maybe
or it
that
just holds your hand. No, what's even creepier, it just holds your hand in your sleep. Yeah. It just goes and holds your hand.
Or touches your toes. So
gross. Yeah, when he woke up and saw her sucking on his, like, that
was weird, yeah.
So weird. First of all, she was such a weird character to begin with. Like, to me, nothing she did, and maybe also they're Australian. I don't know if like people are culturally different in the way that they act towards, but she was off to me the whole time. You know what I mean? Like,
but it might be like what you said, that she was just fucked up because of her mom.
Maybe.
She was just out of there, and that's what her character was supposed to do. I didn't think I really had a problem with her. I just had a problem with the writing, which I have a problem with everything when it comes to, because it does come down to the writing, where it's just like, bro, you could have done this and this and this.
Yeah.
Like these things could have made it at least a little bit better.
More interesting, yeah.
But I do support the fact that a YouTuber, like, independents are just doing it.
I love that. I love and the fact that they did it and it looked good. Like, visually. It looked really good.
Yeah, it didn't look like low budget by any means. And it wasn't super corny. Like, it wasn't a horrible movie.
No, the dialogue was good. Like, I felt like I didn't hate the dialogue. I hated the whispering. I always hate the whispering. It's just like, oh.
But did you notice that the sounds, like when they're throwing the pillows at each other, it sounded so fucking loud?
Yeah.
Like certain sounds
It
are
wasn't
so
balanced. It wasn't really balanced very well. But as far as like the dialogue, it wasn't like the acting was good. I didn't find any of that offensive. You know what I mean? It was just it needed a little bit more. But you know what? A24 was behind it, and I like A24. I feel like a lot of stuff that comes out of A24 and Blumhouse?
I think so, yeah.
I think they're halfway decent. They're not. We've watched far worse.
Of course, far worse, yeah. And so, like I said, I was happy to hear that it was like a independent people, because I do the same thing with comic books now. There's independents that are doing better than the big two. So I'm just like, well, if that's what it takes to make a good movie, and realistically, it's their first movie. Who knows? Maybe if this one does decent, they make another one and it's 10 times better. You know what I'm saying? So I can't fault them on that. It's their first. They're not like professional, writers and directors and all that. But
yeah,
it's not bad. It's just not there yet. That's why when we were watching those promos, like, this is the scariest movie, I was like, I never believe that shit anymore.
No, I feel like, I don't know if I'm too jaded or too old, but I feel like nothing scares me anymore. Nothing creeps me out. Nothing like it takes a lot. It really takes a lot to have me feel like the tingles up my spine, or like the watching the corner of my eye type of,
See, I living alone, and this is what the weird thing is. Like, I could watch this movie living alone and not feel anything. Mm-hmm. And that was like the problem, because it was just like, I want that. I don't want that feeling, like actual fear. I don't want someone to be in my house, but I'm saying, like, I do want that little creepy, like, what the fuck was that? Sometimes.
Yeah, like I might leave the nightlight on.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I want that from a horror movie, because I think that's the emotion it's supposed to bring from you. But when it's just like if it's not funny, even though I don't like really comedy horrors, but if it's not meant to be funny, it's not meant to be a drama, it's not meant to be a fucking like all-star blockbuster movie, it's supposed to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
Bring something that fears. And I think mid 2010s, that jump scare shit, just everyone used that all the time.
To death.
Overdone it. And that sucks, because jump scares are good in horror movies, I think. It's just there's a time and a place. Like, stop doing jump scares every fucking thing.
Yeah, that's why I want you to watch The Insidious, because
it was just too dark when I was watching it.
When you get a chance, I would definitely go watch it, so we could talk about it. And I won't. But that was one of the last movies that their jump scares were effective, I thought, because their use of like music, and because jump scares are all about the sounds, the anticipation, and the scenes. You know what I mean? Like
the actual action of what's happening.
Right, because it's like you're going, oh, there's going to be a jump scare right here, and you're like anticipating it, and then when it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, okay. And then again, they'll like change the sound, or they'll do something with the camera, and you're like, oh, there's going to be a jump scare right here, and then there isn't, and then when you're least expecting it, you're like, bam, you're like, holy shit. Yeah. So I think the Insidious series did that well. They really did
Insidious 3, I think it was the movie. It was the last movie, I think, that made me feel creepy. And I didn't feel creepy in a theater. Like, a little bit was kind of creepy. But I remember going home that night, dropping off Andrew. Andrew went home. Nobody's at the house. And it looked like Amityville Horror House, because there's no lights. It's dark. And I'm just looking at my rearview mirror, and I kept thinking I'm going to see the little guy fucking waving at me. And I was like, I gotta go to 7-Eleven. And I just like went to 7-Eleven, but it was light, and I was like, I'm gonna see a fucking ghost. But I like that because it makes me like, it made me like the movie a little bit more because I was like, all right, you put an image in my head that made me think like I'm gonna see something, even though realistically there's not gonna be nothing there. But
No,
I don't know. I like those fucking it's imagery, it's sound, it's story, it's everything.
Yeah. So overall, what do you give this one?
I don't know. I'm bad with ratings.
We're doing it out of 5. We've been doing it out of 5, so we're gonna stick with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I think 3.5, only because I wasn't exactly bored, but I wasn't scared either. So I would say 3.
I'll give it that too because I agree with you. Like I was wanting to like. It wasn't that I was excited about it, but I was just like, I kind of want to see what happens. Like I want to see where this goes and what's going on.
Right.
So I agree with you. And like you said, there was just that the creepiest moment was when the kid was trying to take out his eyeball and smashing his head. Yeah. That's it. But everything else is like, all right.
Yeah.
So 3.5.
There you
That's
go.
where we're gonna end it.
There you go.
All right, people. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. And next time we're either gonna talk about what?
Either another documentary. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So like, subscribe, and all that jazz. All right. Peace.